Okay. These are always weird. I don't ever know how to hold these. Got the finger thing there, but seems more like the right-handed one I've got. I don't know. Like that one? I've been holding it upside down the whole time. Yeah, well. It is what it is. Where to begin? I think I'll start there. And this stream may potentially be cut short because of weather. It's unlikely, but we had a decent thunderstorm pass. Not even that, just a thundercloud pass by. Did a fair bit of shaking some stuff up, but wasn't really anything all that big. Yes, and I think this is a second wave or aftermath or some other type of word to use for it. That's what I'm missing. Where'd you go? There you are. Fine for me, right? What do you think? Yeah, you can probably hear the rain down on the tin roof I got. It comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes. Technically, I could probably use the term waxes and wanes, but that's always been a weird way of saying some things. It always seems too mystical or whatnot for like actual everyday use, or unless you're speaking with the moon, and even then it's still an oddity. Alright, so I'm going to try and work on these bits here, which according to my reference pic you can see there on the screen. Well, you can't see it on the left side, but they've got a little like a cloth draped off to the side, like it's draped around the chair. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Looks like I just have too much space on this one. But we'll see. Improvise a bit and get used to it. Figure out how to improvise. It's also very shaded. Let's try. Let's see. Hold it. Why am I hosting? was odd. Looks like my stream cut out for a sec there. So look at anyway, to the folk. Welcome, welcome. Hello guys, welcome, welcome. I'm not quite sure what to say. I literally just started painting. Hello guys. Rev Bucket. Rev Scarecrow. Thank you for the raid. Wow. Alright. I don't know what to do. Well, thanks guys. Cool. Yes. Oh, I should probably showcase a bit what I've got. This is what I've got so far. It's Beatrice the Elder. If any of you are familiar with the franchise Umineko, that would be her right there. Alright, cool. Thank you, man. This is actually like kind of technically like third ever painting. This being my first one, second one. My first one being a Bob Ross lookalike. This is Beatrice the Golden. Thank you, thank you. 90 views in 5 seconds. Yeah, that's probably a record. I literally just started. Clean up my brushes, getting ready, and poof, here you guys are. Hey, sirs, welcome. Yeah, yeah. Umineko. Yep. I've been reading it for subscribe. Thank you. Holy shit. But I've been reading Umineko on my stream. You can probably see some videos if you be up around for like almost a year. It's like almost daily for a while there. It's a very long story. I think I'm getting close to the end, but apparently Higurashi is a story before Umineko, similar universe, but not actually immediately needed for the story or something. I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of it other than what my fans been telling me. Alright, cool, man. No, knock yourself out. This stream is here just to chill out or do whatever. Have a good night, man. And again, thank you for the raid. Yeah, no, follow. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, it's just... I'm also trying out some new stream hours now, which is, yeah. Figuring out what to do for stream type stuff and trying out an evening one. Yeah, it's I used to stream with satellite internet. Give me a second. My face doesn't bob out of the screen when I do that. I have a habit of doing it. But I used to stream with satellite internet, and that was a hell of a pain. It was very slow. I could only go at like 240 resolution, and I could only stream from 2 to 8 a.m. because that was the only time we could have actual bandwidth to use it. But yeah, recently we've upgraded a bit. Now we have cellular ATT internet hooked up to a really big 4-foot big tall antenna to go 20 miles that way to get to the signal in town, and we get stable 3 bars. Alright, yeah, Sylvie. Oh, like literally like 100 points to anybody who can guess the game my emotes are from. Mad respect to you guys if you can. But a bit too dark. Oh, Shrill Sunshine. Thanks for the follow. Follows are so weird. I don't have them happen all that often, so forgive me if I don't catch your name. Oh yeah, I'm so glad I got this stupid alert. I've had alert problems for quite some time now. It's been shuffling with UI, all sorts of things, and I get everything all set up, but I forget to do the alerts. So people follow, and it's like, it doesn't show up. I need more paint. Yep. I like it too, and it like perfectly kind of embodies her a bit, as is the Marianne one. But yeah, so much text. Yeah. all of Homestuck and Danganronpa on stream? Shit, I might take a look at that. I actually did. Way back when, I read the entirety of Homestuck in a single sitting. It wasn't finished, but I read the entirety of it in one sitting. I believe it was before the end of Act 5? I think it was like Rose in the Land of Sunshine and Rainbows or some shit. It was messing around with that area is where I read up to. It was... I wanted to see how far I could go at one time. It's like, hey, this is pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Let's keep going. And I went all the way to the end. It was pretty cool. Though I have to say, I've never actually finished the story. It got into Arc 6 and just kind of like got weird trolls and cue balls and shit. Yeah, it was possible at the time, which I did, but now I would doubt it unless you can read really fast. No, was an art streamer all along. I know. But yeah, it's Homestuck is kind of interesting. It was fascinating watching it evolve over time. It started out with people just coming up. He actually followed all the input from all the people. Peak Tech into 5. Yeah, it kind of did. Oh, dang it, I forgot that. You guys are keeping me so busy, I can't wipe my brushes off properly. But yeah, it kind of dived there, and I stopped paying attention a bit to it, as well as the fan base starting to get overly toxic. Wasn't there there was some people who paid like thousands of dollars to have their troll persona actually in the canon of Homestuck, but it was only for like a single frame before they were like zapped to death or some ridiculous something or other. Speaking of, oh yeah, that's my thing. It's chill, just relax. Feel free to ask anything you want, as long as it won't get anybody banned. Just nice stuff, whatever. But yeah, we talk about literally just about anything, philosophy, politics, so I'd rather not, just because that gets the chill vibe out of here, but I'm not afraid to talk some of it. But yeah, philosophy tends to be the bigger one. Meaning of life, how you go about stuff, depression, how you overcome it, hope, despair, stuff like that. Danganronpa. Danganronpa's another one I'm reading. I just finished like yesterday. I literally just finished Danganronpa 3 yesterday. I'm still not entirely sure how that ending is gonna, how it sits with me. It was different. New Age Bob Ross. I guess I won't deny that. I guess it works. I started painting with Bob Ross, so it works out. No, well here, yeah, happy little trees, happy little strokes. Just a nice little brush, dab, 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 right about there, and just the red cloth just flow into the canvas. Get a little overzealous? Don't worry, just happy little accident. Be right there. Maybe it wants to be there a little bit more in the limelight, so to speak. Gives it a little friendly little cloth there, a little time in the sun. Stuff like that. I actually did have a Bob Ross episode where I like tried to do a it wasn't painting. Well, if you guys ever hang around my stream, you'll eventually end up knowing about some of the stuff I can do. Yeah, it's for instance, this poster here, this poster of Rachel Bryce is signed because I did belly dancing, but I go all over the place. I am very much so a jack of all trades. How y'all doing? Alright. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a case of ADHD, and I've only recently like thought about having it. But like, right over there, about like 15, 20 feet, we have a mama hen and 13 little baby chicks who hatched like 3 days ago. And they're really cute. I don't have any pictures for you guys. Sorry, I don't tend to be the picture kind of guy. Oh yeah, we had a whole bunch of chicks just popping around. My dad, he's the one who's been all over the chicks. Oh my god, the little chicks, and making sure the mama hen's doing good. Because you can have stupid chickens that don't know how to do any chicken work. And they'll just like sit on the eggs and let them rot because they don't know what they're doing. But this was actually a really good mama. She sat there and like was rotating the eggs and like making sure they're all good and keeping them warm and all sorts of stuff like that. It was fun watching her become a mama. And yeah, there were 2 eggs that like hatched a day and a half late, and she didn't quite notice because she was busy with the 11 other chickens that were suddenly in her life. And so my dad helped me, and my dad got them and helped them, incubated them past the hatching point. And then we I think it was just yesterday or so, incorporate them back into the little mama little chick flock. But yeah, it's I live out here in the middle of the forest, 20 miles from the nearest town, which is 100 miles from the nearest city, which is frustrating at times. I'm currently looking at moving out, trying another place, and I don't particularly much care about where I'm at, which ironically makes it much harder to find a spot to go to. Currently I'm looking at Texas, Colorado maybe, but Texas is starting to look a lot better. I'm looking at going into art classes, not a college or university, but something actually called an atelier, ATELIER, in which they try to teach you in the ways of the old masters. Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael. That's where they are. But yeah, where they actually my brain blanks sometimes. But yeah, just like old traditional ways, not like an actual curriculum, Art 101, Art 102, but draw a person, draw this, paints, things like that. I think that's good for the big brush. But yeah, and so it's kind of fascinating looking about that stuff. I've never much been for the college type. I went when I was like 13 to the community college. I took a course on, I think it was like graphic design, no, graphic arts or some basic intro to when I was younger, becoming a video game creator, some way of getting into the gaming world. I've kind of given up on that. That's not what I want to do in life, which I've realized. I realized I have more fun playing them than I do creating them. I could, but I wouldn't enjoy it. But anyway, I was 13, went to community college, and that class was worthless in like so many ways. They gave me 5 or 6 assignments total for the whole entirety of the class. There was no teacher, there was no instructor, just those 6 assignments, and off you go. And the assignments were, I shit you not, have a design with circles, have a design with triangles, have a design with squares, have a design with hexagons, have a design with whatever the hell the else were. And that was the whole course, like literally. And no instruction, no whatever, use whatever you need. I think I actually used like I think at the time I might have used Microsoft Word to actually make those um, little whatever the hell they were, and I turned it in, but nobody got back to me. Nobody gave me a score. I may or may not have passed that class. I don't know, because nobody ever talked to me. No one got back to me. No one said anything. It was a very weird class. And that was it. That's the extent of my experience with college. It wasn't a very positive one, so kind of ever since I've been averse of college. Not to deny anyone else from wanting to go to college. If you want to, fine. It's just not what I want. I'd much rather have the individual bits. It's too dark. It's good base, but it's too dark. More white. And yeah, I also like real college experience. Party college or cram college? But yeah, it's. I'm not gonna go to the I'm not gonna worry about it too much. It's something I did, something I went through, and it is what it is. Man, paint goes fast. Don't know why. But yeah, so anyway, no matter what it was, I live in Brazil. Oh, cool. Oh yeah, it's like, where are you guys from? I've had people from all over the world come on this channel. It's fascinating. From Australia, Germany, Czech, just all over. And now Brazil. I had somebody from Korea at one point. I think another one from Japan. But yeah, it's fascinating seeing where the how the world is so connected and such. It's a bit pale. Toss in some black. Yeah, Brazil, huh? Yeah, Brazil. I had a friend. I know it isn't exactly Brazil, but I actually did have a friend who was from Venezuela, so I know somewhat of the area. You can ask serious here. I'm not the most geographically well versed. I blame the American education system, if again that college class was any indication of how things are over here. Come to Brazil. Why? Free college? It's not dark enough. I'm still figuring out how to paint and all this shit, so bear with me as I mess up a hell of a lot. One thing I have figured out in life is any advice for anyone else. If you're having trouble getting yourself to doing something, motivated, take action or what have you, like for me, or another one is you're afraid of trying new things because you're not sure where they'll end up. Oh, it's all muddy. Okay, one sec. You were faint. But if you're having trouble with like fear and anxiety with things, force yourself in a position where you have to do it. Like for me, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do painting. I didn't quite know if it was worth the road going down or not. As you can tell, I'm pretty decent at it now. I don't ever mean to brag, just bear up. But I went out and picked up a whole bunch of paint, went to an art store, bought some paint, paid a hell of a lot more than I ever thought I would on this paint stuff, and now I'm here doing it, forcing myself to do it. Otherwise, all that money I spent was a waste. So I'm now in a position where I have to use it. The other one was I used to do some miniature painting. I guess that's a bit of experience that I've had from before. But I ran into unfortunate happenstance of my paint actually went bad. I used to live, I used to go out to a renovated chicken coop, which is smaller than this building here, and remind me later and I can talk to you about this place. But it was a renovated chicken coop, and I would go out there for art hobbies and whatnot. Be alone, no one else could bug you, it's out over there. Still had power, mind you, but it was a chicken coop. It was like 4 foot high on this end and then 6 foot high on the other end. But in the middle, you'd have to kink your head because there was a slant. But that's where I went and did a lot of my hobby work. And I had my paints and stuff there. So that was what I was looking into at the time. But then winter hit and it was too cold to be in the chicken coop for any other length of time. So I moved out into the main house and stopped using the hobby room. Well, come to be, I left my paint out there and the paint froze. And then it kind of thawed. And it had the weirdest thing. Like, you'd put the paint down and it'd have little chunks in it. Not like a glob, but these little white specks that were in the paint. And it was just bizarre. You try and like paint on a model and it'd just leave like bumps all over. And you try and get that off and paint was just, it was an absolute nightmare. I couldn't use the paint anymore. So all that paint I was trying to save and trying to make sure I used right, and this is the expensive stuff, that's the good stuff, the whole bucket, all of it was gone because I was too afraid to use it. So now I'm trying to get myself to use it up. Go ahead and just waste the entire kit, just squirt like all the paint on here, use it all up, because you can get more. It's not the end of the world if you happen to just run out of paint. Just go get some more. The world is a big place. There's a lot of stuff there. You can go out and it's kind of fascinating how yeah, it happens. It wasn't horrible, but it made me realize in the process of trying to save it and not waste it, I wasted everything. Another example is like fruit. You're like, okay, that's good fruit, I'll save that good stuff for later. But then wait a day or two later and it's all rotted and bad. Had that happen too a few times. But I personally found that I've been previously afraid to take risks, afraid to spend money or time or effort on something because I'll waste it. I'm also the same guy who has like 99 potions at the end of the game and never used it once. Yes. So in that aspect, I do take it as a bit of pride, not hoarding the potions, but being able to beat the game without them. But yeah. It's you can always get more, and that's a weird mindset. It's common sense. It's blatantly obvious, dude. You can get more, but no. This is the only tube of paint I have in the world. I spent like 20 bucks on this. I can't waste it. And yes, you can. It's a tube of paint, and it's money. You can always get more. One of the other things that helped me like reach that epiphany, I guess, was when I took a trip to Germany to meet some of my viewers at a Comic-Con. Yeah, my viewers, some of my other viewers were getting together and like working at meeting up at a Comic-Con. Like I said, Germany, Czech, and a couple other places over there, and they were all like Denmark. That's the other one, Denmark. And they decided to like get in there. It's like, wouldn't that be cool if like you could get there? And it's like, yeah, it would. You know what? Why the hell not? I'm gonna go to Germany. And this is a time when I didn't have a job. I had some savings and whatnot saved up to try things. But I realized, go out, live my life. Don't worry about being so afraid of not having money or things going bad. It's like, go live life. It's like literally, not that one, but this one. you guys can't see it, but I've got this screen poster here. You can kind of see the frame, which is the second one from Rachel Bryce. I had her write some comments on it, and she actually extrapolated on it a bit more. This one says, go live life, risk it, it'll be worth it. And I've tried to embody that more and more so as time goes on, because I spent a good deal of my life hiding and worried that things won't work out, things are going to be horrible. I can literally tell you 6 years of my life was spent worrying about things failing. Very much so. It wasn't the best time of my life, but it was a significantly important part of my life, because I hit a point where I straight up failed. I tell the story often, but again, new viewers. But after high school, I decided school's done with. I'm just gonna take a break. My parents are cool with it. I'll just chill out for a bit, and then try and start up my own business, do my own thing. Well, that took a couple months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years. I tried to start up my own business because I am a creative sort and wanted to try and do some means of doing it on my own, some means of doing something creative and like sustaining myself as an artist, which was all fine and dandy as a concept, but I had no money, I had no car, I had no house. I was living in the living room of my parents' place because I didn't have a place to live, and I was trying to start a business with like $300 to my name. I tried programming again because I was trying to be a video game maker or something like that, but it didn't work out. I could make stuff, but it was a grind. It was not fun. I did not enjoy it. It's like, okay, that's fine, we'll try something else. I did drawing pretty good, but I have trouble doing things that I can't see. If like from my head to a paper, it looks like a stick figure, but if I have something to look from, like reference, it comes out really accurate. Again, I don't mean to brag, but I wanted to do fantasy things and they didn't exist, and it just didn't work out. So then I tried sculpting. Then I tried sculpting figurines. Then my neighbor, before that was chainmail. I tried to do chainmail, which I can do. I've actually made a hip scarf out of chainmail. And then my neighbor, guy down the way over there, is a master jeweler. He taught me some things to do jewelry. I thought that would be pretty cool, but way too expensive to start up. I didn't have enough money for any of the base materials, and so that failed out. And then I'd try something else. I think I did. Oh yeah, that was after the streaming. But yeah, as you can see, I kept trying things. I kept trying this, kept trying that, kept trying this. Every single one of them failed. Not a one of them took off the ground. Whatever it was, it didn't work out. And it was at that point I realized I've just wasted 6 years of my life. What the fuck am I doing? But, and as you can imagine, I kind of also had a bit of a meltdown. Broke down, but then I realized I was stuck in my own little box. I was counting options impossible because of the way I was seeing them. But if I really just stopped, took a step back and looked at it, I realized I'm just me in this house trying to make a job doing nothing. So I went out, got a job. ZBrush, hey man, welcome. Glad to see you too. I still don't know quite exactly what that cat expression is supposed to say, but thanks for having it. I'll not deny that, but yeah, I don't quite know how to take compliments very much. But yeah, it's for 6 years I was trying and failing at every possible thing I did, and I realized I can do something else. I just changed your view set, do something else. I went and got a job at Walmart. Coughing cat. I'm relatively new to Twitch society. I know it exists, but I'm not the one who's I didn't quite grow up with it. Again, partly because of doubling back on the satellite internet. It was the only internet we had, and we couldn't load anything. It just, yeah, the highest resolution we could load without buffering was 240p. Occasionally 360 if the moon's aligned or whatever, stars. But yeah, so I basically was stuck with 240 resolution videos, and Twitch doesn't allow you to step down resolution unless you're like top of the line streamer or something. I still don't quite know exactly what. Oh yeah, it's still working on it, still work in progress. I missed that spot there. So yeah, I just completely meandering conversation here. Can't call this a conversation, I guess. Monologue. It's a monologue. But yeah, it was during that time I realized how bad I was perceiving the world, but not how bad it actually was. And to circle this back to my trip to Germany, I was well, no, I'll follow through with it. It makes more sense that way. But I got a job at Walmart. And once I got a job at Walmart, doubling back a bit more, I applied for just about anything, and after a while I actually got the job at Walmart Automotive. Because I knew mechanics and stuff, and my parents made medieval armor, and I helped out with that. But at Walmart, they hired me for the automotive thing. I didn't have a driver's license. I didn't have a car. Can you guess the first two things I bought when I had enough money? Yeah, I got a driver's license. I bought a car, on the spot, as soon as I could. I still have that car too. It's pretty cool. Anyway, once I got the job, once I got things rolling, then my life started picking up pace. And it's once you change your viewpoint, look at different priorities, see things in a different light, that's when things start opening up for you. Flow, if you can call this a flow. It's just kind of nonsensical directions at times. Walmart stories, yeah. Oh, you want to hear a Walmart story? Here, I'll tell you a Walmart story. I think you guys might have heard this one already, but I was in Walmart Automotive, and it was due for a physical update. We had a 8-bay garage, but we're only able to use 6 of them. The other 2 were either filled with storage heavily, or physically didn't work. And so the Walmart was having a renovation at some point, and they were renovating the whole building. Mind you, this is also the only single Walmart in the town. We have people. I'm in northeast Washington State in America. If any of you guys want to look in that spot, we have people from Canada cross the border, come to our Walmart to buy American products, and then go back to cross the border. That's how big our Walmart is, because it's the only Walmart in the area. But yeah, so they were having a renovation and redoing the thing. They redid all the tile. They reshuffled a whole bunch of stuff in the store. But then it came to the automotive department. Like I said, we had things that needed fixing. In the automotive thing, they have these spigots. You can reach up, grab, pull it down, and then fill it with the oil that we have in big old giant drums in the back. Well, they replaced our old lifts with these new ones, and the old lifts were about here, but the new lifts went way back here. And so when you pull up the car where the spigot used to be, it would smack right into the windshield if you weren't careful. We had to always be careful until they fixed that. And we're like, dude, you gotta fix this. You can't, you need a new system or something. And I shit you not, their solution to this problem was the guy in charge of the entire renovation said this, not just some middleman, the guy in charge of it all. He said, well, why don't we just like unbolt it, swing it around, and then bolt it back up? Will that fix it? I guess, maybe. And so that's what they did. They were so unwilling to spend any money during a renovation of the whole store, they thought it would be more practical to unbolt a slowly dying gas stand than it would be to buy a new one. Hire people to go up and do this, and here's the other big one. They replaced the lifts for the cars, okay, during tire season. My manager, who was butting heads with the boss of the Walmart, I don't know the terms, there's too many management levels at the time. The boss didn't like my manager, even though my manager did everything in his power to make the our little shop actually outperform some of the rest of the entirety of the state. Our one little town was outperforming like King County over there. And anyway, it was problematic, but my manager had to go and tell the installers, guys, don't touch these two lifts. We need these for tire season. Okay. So we have 4 oil lifts on that side, 2 old lifts on this side, and then 2 new lifts on the tire side, because that was the only way we could do it to get the lifts functional. If we didn't have those 2 lifts, we would have to go by hand and jack up every car that came in for a tire change. And it was tire season, and in case some of you don't know, that's the time when people have their summer tires swapped out with tires with winter ice and studs. And so we'd have to take all 4 tires off, put 4 new tires on, and shove it out. Now imagine that for like 50 cars a day at the time, was like a 4-man team. It's crazy. Is it? Oh yeah, I got stories for days there. There's this other one. I will never forget this one. Go back and kind of let's read this. A lot of work. You get used to it. But the one job I will never forget because it was just so jarring at the time. Yes, no for missing a time. Let me finish this train of thought before I get back to that one, because I know I'll jump somewhere else before the end of it. But it was this guy. Apparently he just wanted this one tire replaced. One tire put on this old rim. Okay, and then put on his car. Sure enough, we can do that. Maybe flat something. What I was thinking, or just that one tire was old enough. But there we go. And he we did that, and I wasn't the one who worked on it. I was doing something else. The other guy's like, dude, I gotta go to lunch, otherwise with Walmart in the state of Washington, I think, maybe federal, I don't know exactly where it sits. You can't have somebody work 5 hours without lunch. That's literally illegal. So if somebody does that I think it's like 3 strikes and you're out, do that 3 times and you're immediately fired. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're just fired if you work for 5 hours at Walmart. So the guy was saying, dude, I'm about to hit my 5th hour. Can you take over this car? Just needs to do this. Oh yeah, sure, I can do it. So I finish up for him, hop in the car to do a little figure 8, make sure the tire stays on when it leaves. But I hop in and pull one of these. What the hell? There's no side seat. It's gone. There's no back seat. There's fucking nothing in this car. The guy, and I'm not talking about like broken, missing. Straight up unbolted from the inside of the car and taken out. There was no passenger seat. There was no back seat. I think there might have even been like a vent missing. There was like a cardboard thing in front of the grill for this car, and there was nothing there. I'm pretty sure and would be willing to bet money that he sold them in order to buy something. But yeah, that was just, like, as I said, it was like taking over. Yeah, I can do that. There's nothing in this car. And now to get back to your question of if I miss it. I actually kind of do miss it because I enjoyed the physical activity of it. I got to know those that garage pretty well. I would go up these stairs, go do this, go work on this cart, go back down, go underneath, get this bit. He needs some help on the tires, go up here, do this, and help him with a hand do that, go back up, finish up the top car, and I was speeding all around. And I like that part. It's pretty fun. I ended up leaving because my hearing. Walmart does not provide safety equipment for your hearing. I had my own. I bought my own mufflers. These guys right here, actually. I bought my own set of earmuffs to because they have pneumatic machines and they go a lot of noise, and your head is like right here while you're trying to push a tire onto a frame, and it's just blasting straight into your ear. It was it's like the best, huh? Tires off quick. Yeah, it does. Pneumatic does get the tires off quick, but they're loud, very loud. And again, this Rachel Bryce belly dancing. At the time, I was doing belly dance, and in order to dance, you kind of need to hear. And I realized I couldn't stay there. If I did, my hearing would go out, because some of the guys who'd been there since the store opened, they'd be standing next to somebody, talking with a customer and whatnot, kind of yelling a bit over the thing, and they'd yell back at him. And they're like, "What?" And I would hear it across the shop, and I'd yell it back to him. He said, yada, yada, yada. Oh, thank you, go. And that was with my earmuffs on. So with my earmuffs, across the shop, the guy couldn't hear the guy next to him. And that was kind of a real wake-up call. That's going to be me if I stay here. That's going to be me if I stay here. I want to keep my hearing. I like my hearing. Very much so. So I then made the steps to go and not work there anymore. But I liked the activity. I liked the work. It was pretty good. Except when it got so stupid busy, you just physically couldn't do all of it. But the bad on the guys, or I said, yeah, but it happens. There's some even worse stories from the lumber mill in town. But the part the hearing was the one that the straw that broke the camel's back. I could put up with some of this stuff, but that's the one thing I just can't go with. But the other ones was remember another story I can tell you. There was the management. Again, I told you my manager and the boss butted heads. It wasn't just like that. The boss of the current store is still butting heads with everybody. We have like here, let me put it this way. All of the managers who weren't, we have managers leaving and just leaving and leaving. There's still some there, but they recently had to hire more managers to fill in some slots. There was nobody in the county, and I think even for a couple areas around it, that wanted that job of a manager in our store because of the boss. He literally couldn't hire anybody because nobody wanted it. That's the kind of manager we had, or the boss we had. You see, I'm wasting paint. It's dry. I can't pick it up. But I'll tell you about the stalker I had at one point. So at Walmart, you work, go eat lunch, and me, I pick up a deli sandwich, $4 or whatever. Go into the break room, eat it, and now it's been 5 minutes. I have half hour, an hour lunch break I have to take because of requirements of whatever. But yes, it's all the way down. And so I'd bring in things to do, and like I said before, I had chainmail, and I'd sit there and work on my chainmail for 45-50 minutes because like I said, 5 minutes passed and I've eaten the whole sandwich and now I've got nothing to do. So I'd bring in chainmail or sewing or whatever the hell I was working on at the time. And at some point, this girl that came up, you mind if I sit here? Oh yeah, sure, go ahead, whatever. And I kept chainmailing, and that's how I met her. She became immediately fascinated with me, and in the first 2 days I knew her, of her entire existence, she told me very, very, very intimate personal details about her life that I didn't ever ask for, and she kept talking about them. Okay, some people are just weird, let's just be friendly, whatever. Okay, yeah, whatever. And then as the days went on, she started doing some other things. Anyway, it came to time that she needed to have her car. She bought a car and had the tires needed replacing. Okay, yeah, whatever. But at this point, I was already leery of what she was up to. Anyway, I was the one who was stuck with working on her car. And I just kept her out of the corner of my eye, because in Walmart, I'm not sure how it is elsewhere, but we have this glass pane waiting room. So like people pay for whatever and you can go sit in the waiting room and watch their car being worked on. And now it's here is the window pane, and then this is the shop here. You've got the tire side and the oil side. Okay, so I'm working on a car like right here. She's sitting right here looking at me, but there was another car. There's a car here and a car here. This one's hers. And so here I was working on the car, and it's like I'm talking to my buddy. They can't hear us because it's behind glass and doors and stuff, but we can still talk. It's like, hey buddy, I think she's watching me. And watch this. And I sit here and do this thing, and I like lean back so I can block her line of sight for me with the car. She comes into view to look at me. I lean forward to block my line of sight with another one. She walks out so she can see me. Yeah, that was fascinating. Then there was the time. Cheaper tires? No, she wanted my tires. I could have worded that better, but yeah. Here, the part that made me really, really realize it was when I was working on chainmail, and I just brought a Tupperware tote for my chainmail. I just dump all the rings in there and work on it. It's like, you want? No, I'm fine. I'm good. This works out for me. It's pretty simple. I got everything I need. Well, all right. Well, next day, she bought me a little jewelry box to store different rings in. It's like, all right, thanks. I told you I didn't need it, but I guess I can use it and start working it. And I opened it up, and it looked like one of the hinges was cracked. Still functional, but just cracked. Oh, is it broken? I can get. It's fine. Whatever. Just whatever. And so, I went through the rest of the day. I got off work, and in the parking lot, as I'm walking to my car, there she is in her car. She got off 2 hours before me. She was sitting in her car for 2 hours for me to get off work, to then hand me the jewelry box I told her I didn't need, the jewelry box replacement for the box I told her I didn't need and she didn't need to worry about. That was some serious stalker vibes. And yeah, it's like, okay, I gotta break this off. I didn't even want any of that stuff, and she's starting to force herself onto me. It was, I got grief for it in the garage, the shop. But yeah, holy shit, yeah. And a lot of other miscellaneous odd little micro stories about things happening like that. But it ended up relatively early on. I didn't let it progress to the point where she's being buddy-buddy with me or whatever with friends and saying boyfriend, girlfriend. I wasn't going to let any of that shit happen ever. So early on, give me a second. So early on, I decided I needed to be flat out, absolutely painfully blunt to her to get her the picture. Because, so I said to her face at lunchtime once up, I wish to cut all ties with you. And some other stuff, but that was the one statement I remember saying specifically because I didn't want any room for error in this. She didn't take it very well, but good enough. She was admittedly upset about it, but nothing horrible happened. And we moved on, and that was that. Nowadays, I occasionally see her and we wave, hi, how you doing? That type of stuff, but it doesn't progress beyond that. To explain a bit more of the stalkery things, she would... I feel bad, like, nagging on her, but it was a special case. She was quite literally playing the monkey on a typewriter game with boyfriends. At some point, you will eventually hit somebody that will click, and that's what she was doing. She was hitting on anybody in her department at some point. She was hitting on a married man at some point. She was hitting on a couple people at the same time in order to try and be friends with them. I do have information that she has apparently found somebody that is okay with her, and oddly enough, it happens to be in the shop I left. So yeah, so I don't wish her ill will, but the way she went about things was definitely wrong. But yeah, so it kind of works out. I don't have a stalker anymore. We're on acceptable terms, I guess. I'm bad at coming up with the right word. She's found somebody she's happy with, and they're both happy, from my understanding. The current gossip mill of what have you, which I have family who's still in there. So it works out, and I'm kind of the belief of be honest. Don't try and prolong things that don't work. That it's like, well, it might work if we try this, but and you know in your heart that it's not really gonna work out. But let's give it a shot. Let's try and be nice to them. You're both giving weird signals, and neither of you are quite entirely happy with situations. Not this one specifically, but in general. That kind of mindset is what I try and avoid. So I like trying to be honest. As honest as I can. I'm no saint. Flat out, I am not a saint. But I try and strive towards that ideal. I'm only human. But, and I feel that if everybody's honest with each other, there would be a hell of a lot less problems in the world. Because we would understand it. Did you mean this? You said this back then, but did you really mean... No, I meant this. Oh, well, I thought you meant this. No, we meant this. Oh, okay. It's a very simple mindset. I will fully admit that. But I believe it's a much more honest and workable mindset. Don't work with things that don't flow with you. Oh, I didn't fix that phone. That phone is still in the store. I think it is. I might see if I can bring it home and show you guys. That's just bizarre. For you new guys, I currently work at Radio Shack, fixing and repairing phones, screens, batteries, charge ports, things like that. And the other day, this person came in with a phone. I think they wanted to return or swap whatnot, which is honestly the best choice. But the screen was flipped 180 degrees. So instead of saying hello, it said hello this way. And not just like H this way and then H over here. No, it was completely 180 degrees. The entire screen was flipped. And there was no real problem with it. There was not a software thing, as far as I could tell. They did a factory reset on the phone, bring it back to set 0 as you bought it off the shelf, and it was still there. So it had to have been a hardware issue. But the weird thing was, it was working normally before, and then it suddenly did that, and I have no idea why. It was just this bizarre phone that was all backwards and flipped and all sorts of stuff. It was weird, and I had never seen anything like that. Yeah, on her upside down. Yeah, it's. I've run into some of the weirdest things at this store. I work at a Radio Shack, the Radio Shack in town, small town. It's got 2 streetlights in town total, no more, no less. It's got 2 streetlights. That's how big the town is, with the one Walmart that people from Canada come to. Weird stories. Just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I work at the Radio Shack, and Radio Shack is kind of a defunct business. It's no longer really a business. It's just a bunch of standalone people who've been able to survive the collapse of it. But I'm also the only repair tech for 100 miles. Literally, quite literally. You have to drive 100 miles to get to the next repair guy. So people come to me. I specialize in phones and such, but that doesn't mean people will bring me other things too. Hey, can you fix my drone? Can you fix this VCR for me? I've got this switch for a motorized bed. Can you fix that for me? Maybe? Sure, I'll try. Let's see. This phone is acting up weird. Can you fix my drone? What about my RC car? Can you fix my toaster? I had someone else ask if I could fix their camcorder. I was like, maybe, sure, I'll look at it. Let's see. I don't know. Let's try it out. I have since decided to stick 98% with phones, and anything else, I'll see. I'll see if we can do it, because it tends not to work out. I can do most jobs, but it's the micro soldering things that I really have trouble with, because I don't quite have the right equipment for it. I have generic equipment, which kind of works, but I gotta work really careful about it without screwing it up. Don't tell nobody, but I tend to screw up macro soldering more than I fix it. But yeah, it's just... Oh yeah, it's running back to my trip to Germany, which I don't think I ever finished my thought on there. But at that time, that was between when I quit Walmart and was looking for a new job. I had no job, I had my life savings, and I spent just about all of it to go on that trip to Germany, with no guarantee that it would work out and I'd be okay. But now, here I am. I've got another job. I've got more money than I've ever actually had before, because I'm not spending it on anything. And I'm doing okay. So, at the time, I was really worrying about, well, should I go to Germany? It might be fun, but I won't have any money. I might need that later. And I realized it's money. You can get money anywhere else. You've got a job doing that. I can find another job. I can get more money. It's not that hard. Just go to Germany. So I did. I said, okay, I'm gonna go to Germany. Went there, went to a Comic-Con convention, had a blast. First time I ever actually cosplayed. They brought in a no-face outfit that they had from previous events. My fans, people I was meeting with, and I went as that because I didn't learn the language in time. I was really bad at that. Still haven't. Fully, anyway. And so I went there, had a blast, had memories, and it's one of my fondest memories. The other one being my trip to Portland. That was an adventure in itself. The other one is the bachelorette party I was invited on. That was pretty fun. That was pretty interesting. Let's see. But anyway, I went to Germany, and I came back, and I was pretty much broke. And so I went and looked for jobs and more, and ended up at Radio Shack. I'm rich. Huzzah! But now I'm not going to be rich, because all that money I'm saving up is going to be for my moving expenses, living somewhere else. Probably Texas. And yeah, and speaking of going to places and forcing yourself to do things, I'm forcing myself to move at the end of November. Beginning of December. It's a fuzzy date. It's not set in stone, but that time frame is when I'm going to be moving. I keep wishwashing back and forth. Well, it might not be good. It's currently 2020 and everything that's happening. But what about this? What? And I find myself in the same spot I was, thinking about my trip to Germany. And I just realized, just go. It'll be okay. It'll work itself out. I already know I can do things. I'll be okay. So, go and do the thing I want to do. Don't worry about trying to get things done. Because one of the other things that I run into is death. I will die. All of you will at some point die. I don't mean this to scare you, sort of, but if you spend your whole life trying to not take risks, not do anything, it's like, I want to be an artist, for instance. I want to be an artist, but this job here, I've got this job works for me, so I need to stay here because it's too risky being an artist. You'll live your whole life never doing it. You'll be never given it a shot. And if you're worried about like money or something, money is quite literally the most common thing in the world. Man-made, anyways. And so you can go out, find something, do money. Force yourself into a business where you have to do what you want. Because I found that I kind of enjoy this, but I don't do it as often as I could. And as you can tell, for the past stream's dying out. For the past half hour or so, I haven't really been painting because I've been chatting. So, force yourself into a position where you have to do what you want to do, which is kind of what the stream is doing for me. Sort of. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm forcing myself to move come November. Whether I have enough money, whether I actually have a place to go to in mind or not, I am going to be moving. One way or the other, it's a hard fact, I will be going. So that's what I'll be doing. I'm forcing myself to take that risk, to go try what I want to do. And at that point, it's like, well, I'm here, might as well keep going. So that's kind of my mindset, what I'm trying to do. And I'm also trying to get myself to do new things, to go try other avenues, other ways of seeing things. Because my trip to Portland was really the one where I learned that. My trip to Portland, I was going to the Datura 8 Elements Phase 1 training class, which is a very kind of big thank you. I try and have good ideas. I work towards it anyway. But it's a belly dancing, and belly dancing is primarily women oriented, or not oriented, but it's mostly women that do belly dancing. Being a guy who belly dances is uncommon, to say the least. Predominantly, that's the word, predominantly female. And so a week-long class in a place I had never been, with people I had never met, who were mostly women, and I was a dude in a potentially sensitive area for some people. And so, in order to avoid any unnecessary misunderstandings or what have you, and try and just keep stuff like that from being happening or being run into, I was thinking about trying to just get my own hotel room, something like that, and my camera's funky again. Get my own hotel room. I'd go to class, come back to the hotel room, do whatever, and go back. But I realized that would be incredibly lonely. I didn't quite want to spend my whole week doing that, and then I looked at the price of that, and I couldn't afford that. I could, but it wouldn't work out for me, really. So, what I did was... Alright, camera's good. So what I did was I looked up the group that was the class, and they were setting up other living setups for other people. I was like, okay, you guys want to group up together? Yeah. We're looking at this place. Okay, cool. We got this place, ain't? We got room for one or two more. Anybody want in? I decided, why not? Let's see if they'll take them up on that offer. And I said up front, I'm a dude. You guys okay if I bunk with you guys? Oh yeah, sure. Come on. This is awesome. And so that's what I did. I ended up bunking with, I think it was 7 other ladies in a hostel, which I'd never done before. I didn't know that hostels were a thing. It's pretty cool. And then we did something I wasn't thinking of. We walked to the classroom. I was thinking, just drive there, because I've got like American mindset in my head. It's like, okay, get in the car, drive there, park there, go to class, drive back, and that's it. But in that time, we walked to the class every day, there and back, and we took a different route each day. And it's such a simple thing, but it was such a wonderful thing. I hadn't really done that. I spent each of those walks just walking with them. They wouldn't lead the way because they knew where they were going. But I was just sitting there looking at the city, looking around, and like, that's a neat building. There's an actual cathedral looking thing over there. Look at that tree over there. Is that building what I think it is? And we just walked through and we chat about whatever, and it was such a phenomenal experience. And what compounded that even more was when I went to Germany, we did that too. We walked to the convention and back, and I was looking at the cobblestone pavement, and it was just fascinating. In America, it's cement or asphalt. That's it. That's all you got other than dirt. But here, they had cobblestone, and it wasn't like that fake stuff in America where it's like you lay out brick and then you like mash a pattern on top of it and it looks like it's made out of money bricks. Oh, these were actual little bricks, about that tall, that wide, and you could pull them out. Some of them were even falling over, and they were all placed there. It's fascinating. Walking by a river, street lights, and one of the things that fascinated me was there were stickers everywhere. That was so cool. And you just see, like, this is a place people are. It's not a place people exist in. It's a place people live in. And that's what I like. It's just seeing the little things, little fascinating bits of life in life. And it's so cool. And those two events are some of the best events in my life. And they were both because I said, why the hell not? Let's give it a shot. And I did. And I had a blast at both times. In the Portland trip, I met people from all across the world. France, South America, South Africa, just all New Zealand, okay? And these people just came over for one central passion, interest, and it was so fascinating. And I was with them, and the big thing for me was I could feel the passion. I can't quite explain it, but being there, you could feel the just the emotions there. It wasn't just, oh, this is pretty cool. It was, this is cool. You could see it. You could feel it. It was in the air. I don't quite know how else to explain it. You have to be there. We were all on the same wavelength of some sort. And one of the things I took out from one of the class bits was an improv skit. And I think my painting's done for now. Paint's drying out. I haven't touched it in 40 minutes now. But there was an improv skit. And I personally am horrible at improv. I've never tried it and I don't know what to do. But there was one simple little phrase that she said for the improv bit that I've started applying the rest of my life. With a bit of rational reason behind it, not just literally. But during this improv, she said, you can't make any mistakes. Every move you make is the right one. That opened up my mind. It was not that, because improv is like, what if I do the wrong thing? What if it's not cool? What if it's not an interesting one? Doesn't matter. It's an improv thing. It's completely made up. Whatever it is, it is. And so we went through some of these things, and you could just feel whatever the hell it was. I have no words for it, but you could just feel it. You were just in the zone. I have never felt that experience in any of these other places. And it was, once you open your mind, once you let go of what is right and what is wrong and simply be, which again is a phrase I have over there, simply be. This is one I had to write down there. Simply be yourself. Simply be. Simply exist and do. This painting, I have no aims of selling it. I might if maybe you guys want one, but I did it because I wanted to. I might have some mistakes, but those mistakes are my mistakes. It is now my painting. It's what it is. Simply be. There are no wrong moves. Go and do it. Buy $300 worth of paint. I probably spent a bit somewhere around there for how much I did. And try it. Give it a shot. Give it an experiment. Allow yourself to fail. Allow yourself to be wrong. And experience it. Experience what it is to be alive. And just stuff like that. I'm still figuring out what the hell I'm doing in life. But I found something I'm interested in. Currently, it's art, this painting bit. And so, I'm gonna follow it. Like I said, I'm moving out at the end of November. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm still honestly horrified of it because currently the election can go many ways. Most of them are bad. I don't know anybody in the area. I have never been there. I don't know if this art thing I'm going to is actually going to work out for me. I don't know if I'll meet anybody. I don't know if I'll have a job. I don't know any of that. But I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to go down there and do it and live how I want to live. Even if I have no idea what it is, I'm going to be living that way. I'm going to try it. And frankly, that horrifies me so much I can't quite explain it. But I'm still forcing myself to do it because I know if I just sit here in my current setting, it's nice, but it's not all there. There's the phrase, the quote in the movie WALL-E, when the captain is arguing with the autopilot and whatnot, and the autopilot says, "You will survive," and the captain says, "I don't want to survive. I want to live." That's the kind of mindset I want to go with. I don't just want to come in, yeah, scan, beep, beep, $5 here, scan it, yep, here's your change, and just day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out until I die. That to me would be a waste of my life. I know I want to do more. I know I can do more. I know it's out there. I know I can find it. But I gotta go out and do it. So that's what I'm gonna do. It horrifies me so much. But I know if I don't give it a shot, I'll never do it. I will sit myself down there because I'll be too afraid to take that risk. I'll be too afraid to take the chance to actually try and live. So that's it. And yeah, the belly dance. The reason I got into belly dance, we can start with that one. Again, the 6 years I went through where I failed at everything I tried, flat out. I needed to do something. I needed to get out of the house. I needed to find something to occupy my time, something to do. Otherwise, I was gonna lose my head. So I looked around my town for things to do. One of the things I did, actually, a bit of a sideline, was Dungeons and Dragons. I looked up meetup.com, I think is the website, and typed in my town, Colville, see if anything was there. Guess how many groups were there? One. There was a single group in the entirety of my town. It was a D&D group. And so I went to the D&D group, had fun, but schedules and things didn't quite work out. And so I needed something else to do. I wanted to find something more to do. This time, let's try something physical. I want to try maybe martial arts. That would be cool. But the only thing in town is Taekwondo, and that doesn't quite fit me. I want something different. And then it's like, ballroom dancing. Why the hell not? Let's try that. And so I did. I had a blast, and I'm apparently a good dancer. Everyone keeps telling me so I'll accept it. But that was only a seasonal for the winter, and then it was over. And there wasn't even any guarantee that it'd be there for the next year. It's like, I like dancing. It's pretty cool. Let's look if there's anything else. And so, as I was coming out from ballroom, there was a poster off to the side of the stairwell, and it was belly dancing. Belly dancing. I've always liked the Arabic characters in games. It's always been an interesting aesthetic. It's like, why not? Why the hell not? Let's see if we can go do belly dancing. So I contacted them, called them up, and it's like, oh yeah, sure, come on down. And the rest is history. I now know how to belly dance. I've gone to one of the world famous belly dancers, met her in person, took her class, came back here and started doing some other stuff. It's just, say why the hell not? Life goes in incredible directions if you let it, and that's the big one. That's one of the ones I've run into, because during my depression and some of the other phases, I've tried to plan out and see every step of the way. Okay, we got to do this, and we got to do that. That leads to this part. Here, I can't do that. And I'd sit there and try and plan out courses and make sure it was 100% possible for me to do something. Every case, it wasn't. It was never 100% possible. I couldn't ever control every aspect. It's like, but I don't have that. I'm missing them. I don't have a social network. I don't have enough money. Just whatever the hell it was. I couldn't come up with a plan that was concrete. They never worked out. But it wasn't until I started saying, fuck it, why not? Let's try it. Let's just go with it. That the best things in my life happened. And I still do that from time to time. I find myself going back into bad and old habits of trying to sit there and plan things. Like, for instance, this moving bit. I currently have no exact destination of where I'm going. It's a few months away. I only know I have a amount of money to live off of when I go there. I don't know anybody. I don't know any neighborhoods. I only know a couple of things I've looked into to find spots, but that's it. And each time it's like, well, what about this place? Oh, this is cool, but oh, there's that one thing. I can't do that. Well, what about this place? Oh, no, those people suck. What about this place? It's okay, but no. And each time I'm trying to get a spot that is absolutely perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Perfect is what you accept. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to go to a place I've never been because I want to, and that's the way. One way I started looking at it is, once you start like planning everything, every step of the way, like for instance my Portland trip, if I planned it, okay, I'm gonna get this hotel ticket, I'm gonna drive there, drive back, sleep, go to class. That is the plan. That is the only thing that can happen. But once I set the plan aside and allow, you guys got room for one more? Yeah, sure. I am now in uncharted territory, which means unexpected things can happen. with the plan of go there, go back, go there, go back, go there, go back, go back home. That's all that was going to happen. I wasn't going to see the sights. I wasn't going to do any of that. I was just going to do how I normally do things. But it's not until you allow chaos, allow uncertainty into your life, that you allow the unexpected to happen. And the unexpected can be horrible, but it can also be great. It can also lead to life-changing things for the better. So that's what I'm trying to incorporate, trying to do. And it's what it is. It's 8:30, and I'm kind of spent on my worldly advice. I think that's a pretty decent time to stop. But yeah, it's anyway, this is how the streams go. I start out painting, I get rated, and then I start talking about life and Walmart and stalkers. Streaming is interesting. It allows, and again, this is a perfect example. Twitch, streaming, the exact example of allowing the unexpected to happen. If I started painting and you guys didn't come here, I'd be babbling about paint or Umineko or maybe the chicken, but I never would have gone on this life lesson. It's because you guys are there, because you're the chaos that life embodies. You allow chaos to take hold in other people's lives and lead them to greatness or horrible terribleness, because Twitch chat, you guys suck sometimes. But yeah, alright, thank you for being an interesting audience and such an interesting conversation topic. I don't consciously think of doing this stuff, but I just follow whatever path it's going down, and it leads to interesting places. I'm trying to, again, break my mold. If I told you guys I was originally in school a very shy kid, to the point my parents had to force me to go talk to people, like, did you talk to them? Yeah. What'd you say? Hi. What else did you say? Bye. I used to be incredibly shy and just not antisocial, but just unsocial. But now here I am talking to everybody. And it's crazy. And life finds a way, if you want to quote an interesting film. But anyway, my stream is starting to die out on me. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. It's not you guys. Man, my stream really is taking a hit. That's the other reason I'm moving. This internet, it's better. It's honestly better, but it still sucks. So I'm gonna go to a place, get internet, and a stable stream. That's one of my top priorities. But anyway, I'm gonna take off, guys. Thank you very much for the raid, the chat, the discussion. It's been pretty cool. And now I've done about 4 square inches of paint. It's an improvement. Take care, guys. Have a good one. I'm off.